Hi and welcome to my channel. So for this project you will need two colors of yarn of your choice. I'm going to be using this 100% cotton yarn and a 3.5mm hook, but of course you can use any hook that is recommended with your yarn size. You will also need a darning needle, a couple of stitch markers and some scissors. Okay, so for the round one of your cup, you're going to start by making a slip knot. And now I'm going to chain 12. This starting chain controls the height of your cup, so you want the chain to measure from the bottom of your bust up to about the midpoint of your breast. And also, if you'd like more coverage, simply add a few extra chains. For me it's going to be 12 chains and I'm a size small. Now that I've got my 12 chains, I'm going to add one extra chain. And we're going to start from the second chain from our hook. Now we're going to turn our chain and we're going to be working into these back bumps of chain stitches, so not the two front loops, and we're gonna insert our hook into the second chain from the hook and make one single crochet. Now we're going to make one single crochet in each chain stitch across until we reach the very end. Make sure to go into the very last stitch. And now we're finished with round 1. For round 2, we're going to start by making a chain 1. Now turn your work and work one single crochet into each stitch across until we reach the other side. Now that you've reached the last stitch, we're going to make one single crochet into it. And now we're going to work into this top space and we're going to place 3 single crochets into this space. Now we're going to mark the second of the 3 single crochets with a stitch marker, and this marks the top of our cup. Now we're going to continue working on the opposite side of the cup, and we're going to place one single crochet into each stitch. make sure to go into the very last stitch. And this is what your round 2 should look like. For the round 3, we're going to also start by chaining 1, and we're going to repeat the same process from round 2. Work 1 single crochet in each of the stitches until we reach the top of our cup, which should be marked with a stitch marker. Now that we've reached the stitch that is marked, we're going to remove the stitch marker and work 3 single crochets into this top stitch. So 3 single crochets into the same top stitch. Now mark the middle stitch with a stitch marker and continue working single crochets in each of the stitches until we reach the end of the round. And this is what our cup should look like after round 3. And now we're going to repeat this same process, so single crochet in each stitch across until you reach the stitch marker, then 3 single crochets into this marked stitch, mark the middle stitch, and then again single crochet in each stitch until the end of the round, and we're going to repeat this until we reach the desired size of our cup. For me it's going to be until round 15, and this is what my cup looks like. Just keep in mind that we're still going to add 2 more rows to our cup. So we're going to start our round 16 by making chain 1. And now again single crochet in each stitch until you reach the stitch marker. Okay, so now that we've reached our marked stitch, this is what our cup should look like, and we're going to remove the stitch marker and work 1 single crochet into this top stitch. Now we're going to start working on the strap. I'm going to chain 200, but you can chain however much you'd like. I recommend adding about 20 chains per size, so this is size S, and I'm going to chain 200. Okay, so now that we're done with the chain, we're going to start slip stitching back down that chain, starting from the second chain from our hook. So simply work one slip stitch into each chain until you reach the very end of the strap. And we're going to repeat this process until we reach the very end of our strap. Make sure to go into the very last chain stitch. And now to secure the strap, we're going to add one more single crochet into that very top stitch. And now again work one single crochet into each stitch until the end of the round. And now you can chain one and cut your yarn. This is what your cup should look like, and you should be pretty happy with the size because we're only going to add one more round to the cup. We're going to join a new color. So pull your hook through that first stitch, grab the yarn tail and just pull through. We're going to start by chaining one. And same as for the other rounds, we're going to place one single crochet into each stitch until we reach the strap. I'm also going to be working over these loose ends so that I don't have to weave them in later. As you can see, the yarn tails are now pretty well hidden, and this is a great method to use if you don't like weaving in the ends. Okay, now that we've reached the strap, make sure to go into that very last stitch, and we're going to chain 6. This is a bit tricky, so just make your chain, and we're going to wrap this chain over our strap. And now we're just going to join with a single crochet to the other side. And now continue making single crochets into each stitch until the end of the round. Now that we've reached the very last stitch, chain 1 and turn your work to begin working along the bottom edge of the cup. Work 1 single crochet at the end of each row, including the row we just completed with this color. Since my cup has 17 rounds, I should have 34 single crochets evenly across the bottom edge. I'm also going to be working over this loose end so that I don't have to weave it in later. And now that we've reached the end, the very last stitch should go through that first single crochet we made. This is what your cup should look like. And now chain 1 and fasten off. and go back and make one more cup the same way you did the first one. Make sure to have the exact number of rows and stitches along the bottom. Now that you're done with your cups, we're going to make the bottom band. For my size, which is small, I'm going to use 5 of these granny squares. I have already uploaded a tutorial for them and it's linked in the description, so go ahead and watch it and make your squares. Together, the length of these squares should be about 65% of your under bust measures, so go ahead and make them and then come back to this video. Now that you're done with your granny squares, we're going to join them together. We're going to join them working only for the back loops of both squares. We're going to start in this chain 2 space, but in this chain that is closer to the side, and we're going to join each stitch until we reach the next chain 2 space, and again only work through this chain that is closer to the side. Place your squares right sides facing up with their edges touching, and we're only going to be working through the back loops. So these are these loops that are closer to the middle. If this is one stitch, we're only going to be working through this loop that is closer to the middle, and it's called the back loop. We're going to do the same on the other square. If this is one stitch, we're not gonna go through both loops, but only through this loop that is closer to the middle, which is the back loop. Now place your squares right sides facing up, and grab your yarn and make a slip knot. Now grab your hook and work only for the back loop of the first stitch on one square, and then again back loop of this first stitch on the other square. And now grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops. Now again, for the next stitch, only the back loop, then only the back loop on the other square, and pull through all 3 loops. We are going to repeat this process through each stitch until we reach the other side. Also make sure that your yarn is always in the middle. So one back loop, now through the back loop on the next square, and pull through all loops. And we're going to continue slip stitching through each stitch. Make sure not to skip any stitches, and repeat this in each stitch until you reach the other side. And this is what your seam should look like. Now just continue doing the same thing until you reach the top corner. Make sure to go through the very last stitch, which should be this first chain of the corner. Now the same thing on the other square. And pull through all loops. This is what your seam should look like, and now you can chain one and fasten off. Now that you're done, you can go ahead and join your other squares together to form the bottom band. This is what it should look like. And now we're going to start in this bottom right corner. Now we're going to do the edging, so make a slip knot. And join your yarn in the bottom right corner. Make one single crochet and then one more in the same space. Now we're going to add one single crochet in each stitch and chain stitch along the side of the bottom band until we reach the top corner. Now work 3 single crochets into the top corner space. And now again, work 1 single crochet in each stitch and chain stitch until we reach the joining seam. Now that you've reached the seam, work 1 single crochet through this chain 2 space. And now work 1 single crochet through this top loop from the joining seam. And now work 1 single crochet through this chain 2 space from the other square. And now we're going to repeat the process, so work 1 single crochet through each stitch, chain stitch and also top slip stitch loops from the joining seams across until you reach the other side. Now that we've reached the other side, work 3 single crochets into this top corner. Now we're going to turn our work and again work 1 single crochet through each stitch and chain space along the side of the bottom band. And now work 3 single crochets into the bottom corner. Make sure to mark the middle stitch with a stitch marker. And now we're going to repeat the same thing along the bottom. So work 1 single crochet through each stitch, chain stitch and also top slip stitch loops from the joining seams until you reach the other side. And now that we've reached the end, work 1 more single crochet through this chain 2 space. And to join the round, make a slip stitch through this first single crochet we made. Make sure to mark that slip stitch with a stitch marker. This is what your bottom band should look like, and now go ahead and count your stitches from one stitch marker to the other. It is really important that your stitch count is a multiple of 6. For example, I have 91 stitches, so I'm going to add 1 decrease at random to have 90 stitches, which is a multiple of 6. If you, for example, had 94 stitches, you would add 2 increases to have 96, which is a multiple of 6. So start this round by chaining 1 and now place 1 single crochet in each stitch across until you reach the other side, but also add increases or decreases if needed. So if you need to add 1 stitch more, you're going to make an increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and if you have to reduce your stitch count by 1, add a 1 decrease, which is making 1 single crochet through 2 stitches. And now I'm going to add 1 decrease, so I'm gonna go through this first stitch, pull up a loop, then go through the next stitch and pull up a loop, and now just pull through all loops on my hook. So now I have 1 single crochet through 2 stitches. And now I'm just gonna continue making 1 single crochet through each stitch until I reach the other side. Okay, so now that I'm done with this row, I'm gonna chain 1 and turn my work. We're going to skip the first 2 stitches and make 5 double crochets in the following stitch. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches again and make a slip stitch in the following stitch. We have now created 1 shell and we're going to repeat this process across until we reach the other side. So now again skip 2 stitches, make 5 double crochets in the following stitch. And now skip 2 stitches again and make a slip stitch. And just repeat the same process until we reach the other side. If your stitch count was a multiple of 6 and you didn't skip any stitches, your last stitch should be a slip stitch. And now this is what your bottom band should look like. Chain 1 and fasten off. Now that you're done with your bottom band, the only thing left to do is to join the cups. Find the center of the band and mark it with a stitch marker. And now count how many stitches you have along the bottom of your cup. So since I have 34 stitches, I'm going to count 34 stitches from the center to the left, mark that stitch with a stitch marker and do the same on the right. And this is where we're going to join the cups. We're going to join the cups using the same method we used to join the granny squares. Start by making a slip knot and work only through the back loops of the cup and of the bottom band. Make sure not to skip any stitches and also keep your yarn in the middle. And this is what your top should look like after you joined everything together. Thank you so much for watching and see you in another tutorial.